amateur event in 1960 and becoming the home of professional beach volleyball in 1984 on the AVP. The Manhattan Beach Open sits in a league of its own. Winning here cements a career, quite literally, on the pier. First day of action of the best weekend of the year. Hi, everyone. I'm Cameron Irwin alongside two-time Olympian Kevin Barnett as we are set for this very first day of action. And Kevin, the Olympians return home from Petty to the pier. That is the case for Andy Benesh and Miles Partain, and it's quite the contrast between the two teams starting out on our Stadium Court coverage.
Yeah, this is what you get if you come in through the qualifier. Del Sol and Carlson, you qualify, you get one of the top teams. So I want to see from the top team, Benesh and Partain, where are they in that post-Olympic period? I would expect them to dominate this match. On the other side, play free, play aggressive, be yourself, and do what you can against one of the top teams in the world. We
had a chance to see Andy and Miles just perform very well in Paris. It was fun to see them take away a fifth, and it's going to be interesting to see how not just them as Olympians, but every single one of our Olympians in action this weekend in Manhattan Beach, and it's a big turnaround for them in terms of a very condensed period of time.
You have to love this field in that you have so many Olympians, not only from this year, but from years past. That transition from the peak, the push, just to get to an Olympic Games and then compete there and then come back to the Pro Tour. The Pro Tour is not a letdown in real life. It's just a letdown because the Olympics every 4 years and everything that it takes to get there. So I want to see from them focus, determination. We'll know in the first 10 points how they are.
I love it. Well, you mentioned the Olympians. You can't forget about the Olympic gold medalists, Alex Kleinman and April Ross. They will be in action. And, of course, Phil Dahlhauser back in the mix. Welcome back to the AVP. This is going to be fun. 3 full days of action right here on Valley Live. Take it away, Mark Sherman.
Oh, I thank you, Cameron and Kevin. Yeah, let's do this. Let's meet the players, bringing the boys out for the first time on Stadium Court. And these guys fighting through a tough qualifier, had a couple of tough matches to finish, but here they are fighting through in the main draw. This first guy in his first main draw here on the AVP, repping Wentworth Institute of Technology out of Boston. Yeah, originally from Parker, Colorado. Ladies and gentlemen, let me hear it for Ian Carlson. And his partner, boy, he's been a fun guy to watch for about a decade, ladies and gentlemen. He basically grew up playing volleyball all the time out of Denver, Colorado. Found the beach down in San Diego and never looked back. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Skylar Del Sol. And their opponents here in round one. Fresh off the plane from Paris, ladies and gentlemen. These guys out of sunny Southern California. You know them, you love them. Let's get them out there. This first guy coming out of Rancho Palos Verdes, California. He raises, he rips, he crushes straight down. And ladies and gentlemen, I want to hear it loud for this Olympian, okay? Let me hear it for Andy Benesh. And the same thing for his partner out of Pacific Palisades, the 22-year-old, the kid. You never know what he's going to do. So incredibly skilled out there and will be fun to watch for years and years to come. Give it up for Miles Partain.
A look to your 4 competitors, Andy Benesh, Miles Partain, Ian Carlson, and Skylar Del Sol. We mentioned the Olympic path and the journey for Andy and Miles, but there was an interesting path as of yesterday for Carlson and Del Sol. It was wild. They made it into that last and final round of the qualifier. They ended up taking it 15-12 in that last and final set, but it was almost in an I formation against their opponent. One guy went down with some cramps.
Yeah, and instead Cox had to play the entire court and just running on adrenaline, so they nearly lost. But it was quite an interesting path to get here to a morning on Stadium.
First serve underway, they're going right at Miles Partain to start, and that is a quick dig for Skylar Del Sol, but it is blocked right back down to the sand. Andy Benesh, I mean, welcome to Stadium Court.
Yeah, I mean, this is the goal here, right? Start with Miles and play to win. That was the plan for the qualifiers, but you're going to have to figure out a way around Andy Benesh. He makes that big, strong move, the one-time USC middle blocker.
Starting on Carlson, who comes out of the middle, trying to poke to the line, but that is an awfully high block that he is going to have to go against.
That's absolutely the right idea. He just got a little bit too much of it off the heel of his hand, but that is one of those situations where you know what to do, but you improperly execute it.
Andy and Miles looking to put their name on the pier for the very first time. Safe to say they would be one of the favorites coming into this.
Skylar Del Sol with a nice crisp contact. He does have his name on the one-time AVP hammer.
Really?
He does.
I forgot about
He hit
that.
an absolute bomb. Was voted onto the hammer. A little option for Andy Benesh.
Now that's a high ball. There's that left arm of Miles Partain as he has to try and chase that to the corner.
Yeah, part of a burgeoning Colorado beach scene are Ian Carlson and Skylar Del Sol. Skylar's back to that after a few years down in Arizona, working for a volleyball club and organization there. He's returned to his roots in the great state of Colorado, in Denver. The island, what a tremendous facility that is. If you ever get a chance to go and play, if you're a player, a lover of beach volleyball, and you're in the Denver area, certainly visit the island.
Yeah, how many courts do they have?
What was it,
I think
7?
it's, yeah, 6, something like that.
Yeah, they have
6
indoor
or
and
7?
outdoor. Yeah, they have both. Tom Davenport behind that effort. Of course, a great supporter of volleyball. A man who's made his entire living in volleyball for a long time.
Some trouble after that first contact.
Oh, I love that deep corner.
Making some lemonade, Miles Partain.
Well, you force Partain to make a play, and Miles does. That's what he always has done. A guy who's just an expert with all different phases of the game, even going back to high school when you would see him play with his brother, setting each other a vast majority of the time.
Hey, Marcus was in action yesterday in the qualifier. Got pretty close. Oh, cheeky from Skylar Del Sol. Fakes the jump set and goes with a little lefty on 2.
The Luigi, as my partner Paul Sunderland would say.
Skylar Del Sol has 1 kiddo in tow already. 1 soon on the way.
Yeah, a couple of boys.
There's a look to the scores for 3. We'll keep you up to date as to how the score goes, but there's that quick jump set, but it's on 2 after that block contact. Ball out of bounds. The right idea, though, from Del Sol.
Andy Benesh getting some blonde hair going right there. Was that Swedish Benesh?
Plus a few inches.
It's a large Swedish Benesh.
Carlson,
Yeah, a couple of mistakes here.
I was going to say, too, has a little bit of a different arm swing. A little bit more lengthened on his arm swing, if that makes sense. Doesn't necessarily bring back that elbow as far.
Yeah, he's gotten pretty good lately. As the scouting report from Colorado. My brother spends a fair amount of time playing with the Colorado crew there up in Denver, and said that recently he and Skylar have been playing well together, and obviously that's the case here, having qualified for the Denver event and then making it in through the field yesterday. Nice read by Skylar.
Looks to the line and slithers it right past the block of Andy Benesh.
A little sand snake action right there.
I enjoyed the conversation with these two heading into this matchup. They talked about how they've been in the same training group for about 5 years. Typically, they're on the opposite side of the net from one another. And Ian is the instigator. Quick set. And Miles just slightly trailing to that right side and pulls it wide.
Yeah, Ian said that his favorite players are Casey Patterson and Trevor Crabb because of all the trash talk. And I asked him, I said, well, what was it like playing against Trevor Crabb then? Because you played him in pool play in Denver. And he said, well, I was a little disappointed, actually. I thought he would run his mouth more. And we just didn't get any of that.
A little bit of an interesting one here.
Well, net violation, unfortunately, from the run-up to the net.
Because that was
negate the error.
Hitting error on the side of Andy Benesh.
Yeah, they have their opportunities early, and we'll just see how they're able to settle in.
And a block from Benesh. One to the switch, 8-5.
score is 8-5 here. Quick block back again from Andy, his second of this first set. What a dig, pulling off the net, Andy Benesh, and he goes southpaw straight to the line.
Yeah, lefty to the line. That is some next level stuff from Andy Benesh.
So
making middle blockers everywhere proud.
Yes, exactly. Take a look at the gorgeous weather here in Manhattan Beach, 69 degrees currently, and no wind. How's that going to be a factor?
This afternoon we'll get a little bit of wind we normally do in the afternoons in California, and sand will get hot. It was a little bit of a scorcher yesterday. Anytime it gets up upper 70s, low 80s, which is kind of warm at the beach, the amount of black sand that's in this sand will make it fairly hot. It's actually quite different.
Not to mention your shower, a little bit more interesting.
If you talk to players who play in Manhattan or play in Hermosa, they're not very far apart, but they'll tell you there's more black content here in Manhattan Beach. Oh, Skylar Del Sol with another good idea to scoop it over. Just could not execute the April Ross.
That brings us 10-6 here. Andy and Miles. Again, coming out of Paris with a 5th place finish, taking a loss in the quarterfinals.
Yeah, missed contact is where the top level teams will make you pay, right? The difference between lower level teams, qualifier teams, and those in the main draw often is their efficiency when you offer them a chance. And you see it right there, a little missed contact from Carlson and immediately a conversion. No extended rally offered by Benesh and Partain. Wonder if that was deliberate right there. The variation in position across the net. Who's outside closer to the pin on the left-hand side was Carlson there, and that time they went more middle.
Yeah, and he's attacking somewhat those high hands, right? So he's kind of hitting flat into the corners. 11-7 the score, and make it actually 7-11 the serve on the side of Carlson and Del Sol. Nice serve, ball straight back to him, but again, that first contact.
And just missed. That's been the story so far in this first set. Opportunities abound, but balls have been 1 to 3 feet wide.
They get an opportunity like this. That's a big miss, and you can see Del Sol a little unsure of his footing there. Got tripped up.
Well, Carlson has to scoop that ball up. He can't push that ball forward. You have to scoop that ball back to your partner.
He sure scooped that one up. He just passed that first ball about 25 feet in the air.
That's a good workload. Carlson's parents actually met on the volleyball court at the island. Amy and Dean, a little shout out to them.
Hey! A serve, Del Sol.
Strong serving from the qualifier team.
Man, I missed you. Look at us. We're saying the exact same thing. Back in rhythm, Kevin Barnett.
We got the mind meld going already. Didn't take long, did it?
I love it. Well, that brings us to the technical timeout. It's 9-12 after the ace from Del Sol. And these guys are hanging with the Olympians right here.
Hey, save a couple of mistakes. This might be a 1-point set.
And a look to some of our outer courts, and by some I mean several, because this place has been jam-packed, not even just today, but yesterday in the qualifier. You should have seen the number of people out here. If you are in the South Bay area or in the greater Los Angeles area, come on down, have some fun with us here at the Manhattan Beach Open. A look out to our outer court coverage as well. All of it coming to you from Bally Live. Get a chance to see both the men's and women's draw in action right now.
Come on.
Saw Trevor and Theo out on our outer court coverage at the 8 a.m. hour.
Yeah, remember, action is all day, starting at 8 a.m. and probably concluding about 6 o'clock in the afternoon. You can come down and enjoy a whole day at the beach, and then follow it up with some wonderful restaurants up in the Manhattan Beach area. Just walk up the hill, find yourself a spot, and settle in for a Friday night.
Some fun new partnerships debuting here in Manhattan Beach. And the big mix-up, which I'm sure we'll get into as our coverage continues. Tri-Born came shock, splitting after not qualifying for the Olympics. There was some conversation too. What would Trevor and Theo do? Those guys playing together right now at the top of the order. Troy Bourne partnering alongside Ryan Wilcox.
That's an exciting partnership. Ryan Wilcox, when you watch him play, he's going to remind you of somebody, and it's going to be Taylor Crabb.
Especially offensively.
Well, and the way they played in college. Saw a lot of both players in college. They move very similarly, similar size, similar skill set. I think he's just along that development path. He's not defensively where Taylor Crabb is, but that's hard to be there to that level.
Both the Y boys, too.
Taylor, yeah.
But back out of the technical timeout. Make it 13-9 here. Andy and Miles working on getting you that score bug. Until then, we'll keep you up to date. 10-13 now. Kevin, you were covering the Olympics, but on the indoor side, how much did you really get to glimpse over to the beach?
Just a little bit here and there.
Yeah,
in between matches that we had on the indoor side. Of course, not just the U.S. teams, both of whom did exceptionally well.
Oh!
But also covering all the other matches in what was the best indoor tournament that we've seen.
Yeah.
And overall, the game just getting stronger and stronger. That applies to the beach side as well. Of course, the Germans coming up with a nice upset in the semifinals over Mol and Sorum, the Volley Vikings, then the Swedes and their eclectic and original style taking the Olympic Games. And the rise of the Swedes has been very interesting over the last few seasons. Captain at the coaching position by one of my former professional coaches on the indoor side, Anders Christensen.
It's a good time to be Scandinavian.
It is. It is. Which is really funny. You wouldn't think beach volleyball, right? The domination of beach volleyball, you wouldn't think that would come from Scandinavia. But the investment in the game worldwide has raised the level. Certainly on the beach, there's been a lot of investment in pairs that they think can bring Olympic glory to a particular country.
14-12, Andy and Miles. And again, there's that option offense, but what a grab. Skylar Del Sol. Hi-ya! Andy Benesh sends it back. That's that option offense. I talked to Andy and Miles yesterday about some of their schemes in terms of their offensive approach, and they said, hey, we're coming into this. We want to be as aggressive as possible. We want to run our spread and option offense, and right now you're getting a good glimpse as to why these two are Olympians.
Yeah, when you said schemes, I didn't think bank robberies, but I definitely did think offensive strategy.
Net doing no favors for Andy Benesh.
You'll take that one after you missed out on the one where you got the overpass from Benesh with nobody home. That's kind of a repayment of that opportunity.
15-13 on the side change here.
Yeah, and really nice settle here from Carlson and Del Sol. Remember, first few points, boy, they had their chances. Perhaps some nerves, a little bit of a hangover from yesterday and all the work they put in, but they've settled into this first set quite nicely. I like their chances.
It's Carlson at the service line. Andy quick to get back up off of his feet. And a poke for the win.
Well, there's the difference between 6'6" and 6'9".
Yeah. Miles Partain, just 22 years old at the service line. Elevated his game ever so quickly at the professional ranks. Product of UCLA.
I hope this partnership sticks together.
I don't think they're going anywhere.
No, I think there's just a huge upside left for these two young men as another block is picked up by Benesh, who's become a force. And love how much Andy Benesh has dedicated to becoming a beach volleyball player.
Yeah.
Middle blocker in college. You don't think of middles as guys that have a whole bunch of different skills. But Andy has put in the time and the effort.
Andy had spent a good amount of time playing alongside Billy Allen. There's a big swing on the side of Del Sol and Carlson.
And this is Andy Benesh's home sand right here. Palos Verdes native, which is the southern half of the South Bay, or the southern border of what is the Los Angeles South Bay. Best place to live in LA, bar none.
Cagey Miles Partain. Miles Partain has been notably dealing with a bit of an elbow issue for about the last 8 months. He's been working heavily on his physical therapy and PT to get that elbow right. He said one of the biggest contributors in terms of helping him is actually this Wilson volleyball. He's thrilled to be back on the AVP, working with this ball specifically, as opposed to the Mikasa. Del Sol down the line.
If I'm Del Sol, I'm going to keep trying to take a little more court. Some of those middles that have been passed by Carlson. See if Skylar can pick some of those up.
There's that option, and they'll even run the option 5 to 7 feet off the net.
And I think that's one of the things that's been an area of criticism for them, is how often they run that. And it's one of those hero or zero opportunities as we hit 15-19 here in the first set. If you make great plays out of it, oh, that's amazing. It's an incredible way to go to that. If you don't, everyone questions it because it's so many feet off or not the right opportunity or set your partner or whatever else. I think it's just an area ripe for criticism when it comes to creativity.
Yeah, and I also think there's a balance of, if you want to become not just good, but the best in the world, I think they also understand where their game has to go. So if you want to use it, you got to be able to use it in situations like this to then use it in the biggest moments in the world. There was a lot of conversation about those two in terms of how they approach the Olympics, their journey through. And I love chatting with them yesterday. They are all in on each other and their style of play. Unwavering in their confidence. It's now set point for Andy and Miles.
Now it's a Kelly Cheng situation if you start talking about over on 2 and how much should you do it, how much shouldn't you do it, when should you do it. The only people that can really answer those questions are Andy and Miles.
Exactly. Man, you got to take some stuff off that serve from Andy Benesh.
Well, and a good chisel. I think it's a nice first set from the Coloradans.
Yeah, I agree. Make it 16-20 here.
Yeah, I mean, you clean up a little bit at the beginning of this set, they could be in a position to take it.
Floats that to the deep corner. There's the option again, and Del Sol is on it. Quick set, open net, and some net love.
Twice. Twice in this first set.
It is not going the direction of Andy and Miles right now.
It's a Colorado cable. Now, see, I wouldn't complain at this point. It's 20-18. You need one side out. You might work the refs for later.
So let it go. Yeah, but I know what you mean.
Well, I know you say no, Skylar. Here we go.
Again, floating it this time. Big swing. Miles Partain sends set one to the grave.
That's how you deal with not liking a call. Come back and terminate.
Oh, that was nasty. Andy Benesh, Miles Partain looking solid on the return to the AVP. They are just one set away from moving on after the first round. The AVP Manhattan Beach Open is brought to you by Wilson, the official ball of the AVP.
How about a little magic, huh?
Come on down to Manhattan Beach. Beach, general admission is here for you. Don't miss out on the action, and especially seeing the Olympians return to the AVP. Andy Benesh, Miles Partain in action right now. You also have Sarah Hughes and Kelly Chang returning. Team TKN, that's Taryn and Kristen. Can't wait to see them. They already started off our morning coverage at the 8 a.m. hour. They made some quick work of that first round. I can guarantee they're looking to find themselves on the pier. They didn't get a chance to play in this event last year. The draw last year was a little bit different. You have to give a congratulations, of course, to Betsy Flint and Julia Scholes, your 2023 Manhattan Beach Open champions. And of course, Taylor Crabb and Taylor Sander, they were awarded their plaques as of yesterday. But set 2 begins as Andy and Miles look to find themselves on the pier. Can't forget about Chase Buttinger and Miles Evans as well, that last and final duo from the American side, returning from Paris. Quick set, open net, and Del Sol is continuing to sit in the pocket. Bouncing is Benesh.
Speaking of a pocket, hot pocket to start for Andy Benesh in set 2.
To Del Sol's credit, he's getting his hands on a couple of them.
Yeah, he's done a nice job of making some pre-reads. As we talked about in the first set, they're just a couple of conversions away from really putting some pressure on the Olympians.
Man, check out how shallow he has to be in order to dig that, though, too. Quick check down for Del Sol. Good vision there.
All right, so the prescription here is just take care of that third contact. That's it. You were already making the plays. You don't have to press any further for Del Sol and Carlson. You don't have to try and do something radically different. Been working on Benesh recently with the serve. Just convert your opportunities. That's just a better play. I love Carlson did not get fooled. The jump, he didn't even think about getting in front of Partain. Instead got in front of Benesh. But if Andy's going to hit the ball that high, you are in trouble.
Score 4-2 here for Andy and Miles.
That's a little mouse in the house moment right there.
They continue to stay on Carlson.
And have success blocking him.
Yeah, Benesh is just hanging his hands over the net right now. He's taking up more airspace than LAX. You like that one?
I just wanted to, yeah, let that one go off into the ether. I did like that one. If we had the button, it'd just be, hey-o. The comic stylings of Cameron Irwin will be here all weekend on Valley Live.
And the net tricklers just continue. How much do they pay that net off?
Yeah, it didn't cost much. The net's number is pretty low.
I don't know. I think Andy Benesh is trying to figure out what it is right now. Another. This time it's off the serve.
Little push set.
Yeah, and quick feet from Carlson.
Here's where you have to convert.
Oh, nice touch from Benesh. And he earns one back. Gosh, there's a 5th player out there right now.
Well, Cameron, I know you love the offensive systems there. And you saw a little bit of the spread offense, the push here to Partain. And then also in this return for Del Sol, this ball came quick. They were trying to beat Benesh to the net. It just didn't quite work. Andy was able to get that touch, reaching behind him. Again, the length of Andy Benesh playing factor in a point.
You also had a chance to see just how much pressure that spread offense can cause on a blocker. Carlson having to take 4 quick shuffle steps laterally to be able to even get in front of that attack. All sent into the middle of the net. High pass, and again, there it is. Option play for Andy Benesh. Andy Benesh winning his very first tournament. Probably one of my favorite to have seen and witnessed in 2022 in Austin, Texas. His partner, Phil Dahlhauser.
Big on big.
That's going to be called quickly.
Yeah, that one's okay. I mean, it fell out the thumbs of Carlson. He was trying to push it up to the net, felt like it was too far in front of him, and he just lost the grip of it. I like that call.
We've got a full slate in terms of this main draw. Trevor Crabb, Theo Brunner sit at the #1 seed. Andy Benesh and Miles Partain at the 2. Taylor the 3.
There's some crisp execution from the ASU graduate. Got his degree in computer programming, computer science. A couple years at Wentworth Institute of Technology, playing middle blocker. Then he joined the club team at ASU for a while. So he said they let me play outside opposite as that one trickles over for an ace, more cable action. So they let me play outside opposite and then let me set. And it was amazing.
Yeah, isn't that every middle blocker's dream? Getting to become a setter?
Yeah, because they spend a lot of their time thinking they are setters when they get stuck in the washing machine in the middle.
And I misspoke. Miles Partain, Andy Benesh, the 3 seed. Taylor Crabb, Taylor Sander, the 2 seed here.
Crabb Sander not going to let you live that one down.
No.
Defending champions.
The volley nerds won't.
Yeah, defending champions, of course, got their plaque on the pier yesterday afternoon in the ceremony. And a couple of misses here. The wheels might be coming off if you're Carlson and Del Sol.
We're going to take an extra second here on this switch. Carlson. Miles Partain doing some shadow swings a bit here from the service line. Working with that elbow. Trying to come back out of the middle, getting a little bit of that block. Point to Carlson. And I think you're spot on, Kev. This might be starting to sneak away from Carlson and Del Sol.
Well, what I see is they're playing a little bit tighter. They're trying to steer the ball, and anytime you feel like you really have to make a precision contact every single time, I think it just bodes poorly for your game. You have to play free, play fluid. If you're trying to steer the ball every moment, rarely does it work out.
Jump set from Del Sol. Miles. This time it goes away from it. Make it 8-9. They are within 1.
Yeah, but winning the joust right there too. He lost that one in the first set. Did Carlson here? Better push. He learned from the first time, much stronger. You have to be in the role of aggressor when there's a joust. You cannot be the second person to contact it passively. You have to put some sort of direction, pace, and push on that thing.
Within striking distance now, Del Sol. Man, that's wildly high. Big block. Jumping into the angle. Carlson.
Finally got one. And I think they may have wanted a call on that set had this not occurred. It came out clean, but boy, did it look like the same kind of thing where it's rolling off the inside of the thumbs.
Another block.
There you can't get stuck. You have to get up. You can't just be at the net and leave the entire court for your partner. But it's tough when the team has been optioning with both.
Well, and you also have to understand, especially at this top tier level, like Andy and Miles, that ball is going to be recycled more often. One block isn't going to do it. Quick over the top for Carlson. 10-all. You got to be feeling pretty good right now if you're Del Sol and Carlson going up against a couple Olympians. Took a 5th in Paris. And slotted even with them here in the second set. How about that set? Finding the top of the hands is Miles Partain. You like that set?
Yeah, I like to play. I might pull my hands once in a while. Saw a lot of that on the indoor side because there's so much high flat going on, and Partain is just looking for the fingertips there.
1 point advantage to Benesh and Partain. This is a duo that we saw back in 2023. They walked away with a couple wins on the AVP, including Huntington Beach and Atlanta.
I think for a lot of people, as soon as they got together, everyone saw the possibility of this pair and what they could grow into, and they, I believe, have so much upside left in them. What will they look like in 4 years on home sand becomes the question. Should they stick together and continue their development?
There was some conversation around their coaching staff and what direction they'll be heading in the future.
Might want to make a different decision before the Olympics, not in the middle of the Olympics. Probably would help your scenario. Obviously, you never know what's going to happen and the pressure that's going to be put on you. I think that the first Olympic Games, it's great to get there. And expectations internally from people close to you, maybe as Americans, you think they should medal, they should be in the conversation for gold. But it's good in beach volleyball to have that span ahead of you, the time ahead of you. You can go to an Olympic Games, get comfortable with the process, get comfortable with all the distractions and fans and friends and the travel and everything else. I would expect big things from these gentlemen in LA.
Yeah, I agree. And I also think it shows a lot of fortitude, we'll call it, to go through kind of the situation that they did in Paris and still come away with a fifth is pretty impressive and resilient.
You have to learn, and you have to be given a chance to learn. And these guys are young enough, they should have that. Smart high attack from Miles Partain.
I also think these two are so unique in kind of their approach to the game, right? Two of the more analytical minds out on the court. So it's going to be fun to see exactly how they continue to develop and evolve this sport in their own way.
Yeah, Miles, you can start talking about math problems when it comes to playing. And I'm a true believer at some point, it's not really a math problem. It's just better volleyball. It's a reaction. It's a visceral type of game.
That's funny because I'm on the opposite side of the spectrum in that regard. And in terms of, I think you have to do whatever works best for you. So if he's a numbers guy, by all means, you do what works.
Listen, sometimes you're in a 3G negative dive, inverted. With a MIG, you know.
Okay, okay, Maverick.
You know, it's and sometimes there's time for calculation. Other times it's just you reacting to what's in front of you and making the right choice. You don't have time for math.
Maybe he does. He probably computes a bit quicker than you do.
Oh, that's hurtful.
Coming out of the middle, there's Carlson.
Beautiful set from Skylar.
And again, I believe we're sitting at 12 apiece here.
Listen, Marcus and Miles are just as good at math as each other, and I went to the recruiting visit with Marcus and the math that he was in. Unbelievable. Theoretical calculus was the actual class.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that math is way beyond where I'm at, that's for sure. Not my younger stunt double, but for me, yes.
Kevin, I watched that first contact, right? They're sending that ball, what, 30 feet into the air? It's elevated. What people might not realize is that as that ball continues to climb, that means it's going to fall that much quicker. So regardless of whether you're optioning and actually attacking that ball or setting it, it's coming back down at a pretty quick velocity.
Are we talking about terminal velocity here, Cameron? Is that where you're headed with all the math? How fast does the ball actually fall, whether you drop it from an aircraft or you drop it from 50 feet?
Yeah.
It does have one speed it will hit. There's that push. And puts so much pressure on the defender. So little time to choose and to react. Everybody thinks about the blocker and how much pressure it puts on the blocker to move and get in front of the ball or get to the position that they want to take away. But also for the defender, they have little time to read the body language of the hitter and then decide where to go.
15-13. Benesh and Partain. Oh, Miles was in the right spot. Attacking out of the middle. Or excuse me, yeah, attacking out of the middle there. Some shorter angles for Carlson. There's pushed. And you can see just how much space that can create.
Push last time, line attack. Push this time, angle attack.
Yeah, and I think that's something that is really important as the score now reads 15-14. But I think back to watching these two in the Olympics, and teams were really, really taking away that angle from Miles Partain in terms of the attack from that right side. They were putting a lot of down defenders in that direction.
Oh, a little offensive movement here. Well, and here's where I think all that focus on the on-2 game and the reps at the on-2 game really benefits you is off a block touch. All of a sudden, off a block touch, you're not operating in a skill that you've done, say, 100 times, just to pick a number. You're operating in a skill you've done 1,000 times because you've been running that thing constantly on two in service reception. It really can up your point scoring game.
It's almost reminiscent. I remember Alex Kleinman talking about some of those quick, like, bang-bang plays that happen on the recycled balls back out. And she always said that it was kind of an art form that you just continue to have to practice and practice. It's definitely no doubt developed, but that on two.
Oh, we watch that process with Alex. All right, Del Sol and Carlson just need a couple plays. Just a couple of plays. Hang tight with your side out. How much will they move is a question here. How much will you continue to go back, right side attack with Carlson?
It's a 3-point advantage here for Benesh and Partain. Big block, make it 4.
Benesh, the denial for 18.
18-14.
For Andy Benesh, Rancho Palos Verdes, California. He's back to serve again.
Check this out. Try and get around that wall. Another. Andy Benesh is owning that net. Gotta be so tough from the side out perspective. 19-15. Blocked twice. Now he's got to go up against him for a third time. Is it 3? No, but it's out of bounds.
Yeah, you can credit that to the block of Benesh as well.
Points for Partain.
Andy and Benesh. Andy Benesh and Miles Partain at a match point. And their first round of play here at the Manhattan Beach Open. Goes right off the edge of the block. I'm impressed Miles could even get a hand on it.
And I love the effort with a lead on match ball. Scrapping all the time.
I'm not sure who's running faster right now, Skylar Del Sol or his son through the VIP section at the back of the court.
Colston's on a heater.
Miles tries to run that one down, but the ref stand gets in the way. Ace for Del Sol. Match point remains. They're going to take a timeout. Not a bad idea. You drop 2 here for Andy and Miles. Chance to reset. I like that energy. They talked about it. Carlson and Del Sol coming into this matchup at 17-20. I asked them what's one of their greatest strengths, and they just said a steely frame of mind. They don't let anything really rattle them.
Look at what I wrote down. This is all that matters right now.
I don't know, but there's something happening in that box. It said, Ian, you are something. And I don't know what else the rest of it was.
I could do something like that midday for you, Cam.
We're just writing signs into the camera. I love that. I love that he showed the camera too, by all means.
Well, you want to keep your guys loose, right? That's part of the coach's job. Set the emotional tone, not just some of the technical information, but keep your guys on track.
F it, we ball. You're going to lose followers by zooming in on me.
You're gaining followers, dude. All right, here's the look back at it. See if you can read it. Ian, you are really good.
Positive affirmation. Stuart Smalley in the box, ladies and gentlemen, for Del Sol and Carlson.
All right, here we go. Timeout, another match point coming.
Match point remains. Benesh looking to close it off. Del Sol quick to scoop. Once more, Partain from off the net. How fast is Del Sol? Fast enough is the answer.
Incredible.
2018, and perhaps the best play for Del Sol and Carlson. Couple of huge efforts from Skylar, making Colorado proud.
It was 15-20, now 18. Another timeout called.
Maybe this time it'll say, Skylar, you are really good. Because those were really good plays, right?
18-20 again. There's your confirmed score. So they've rattled off 3 straight to this point. But talk about the effort plays.
Hey, it's the morning, you're full of energy. It's your perhaps last point. You're facing a match point.
When you want to talk about not getting rattled, well, how about yesterday? You think back to that 3rd set for those guys. I mean, they literally had one of their opponents sitting in the middle of the court on his knees. He would hit every second contact while Dylan Cox ran around him to score out.
On an Olympian. What balls you have?
They're just humans, dude. They're just humans. They're just
Hey,
guys.
he's a math major, I'm a computer science major. We both
They get each other. He did the calculations. He ran through a mental algorithm. He's like, we got this.
We hope you're enjoying this conversation as much as we are.
It's good stuff. It's good stuff.
Yeah, we
Let's see if they can compute a few more points here.
Yeah, a little 3rd-person affirmation there, too.
All right, let's see what they can close here. 18-20. Del Sol has been good from the service line, getting them into a nice position defensively.
He's been crisp, right? Crisp and in.
Another good serve to the right side of Partain. Spread and simplicity does the job for Miles Partain down the line, and they pick up the win in the first round of action of the Manhattan Beach Open.
Yeah, decent start for the Olympians. They're working on some stuff, and they got a little bit of push, right? You like that. You like to get a little push and the victory. You like your opponent to play well. Carlson and Del Sol, I think they're going to carry some good momentum and information, some confidence from this stadium court match to start their Manhattan Beach Open journey, which will continue in the contenders bracket.
Well, and I think that's the right amount of push, to your point, right? I think a little bit of adversity at the end of that 2nd set, but instead of going to 3 sets, close it out in 2, don't waste the legs, don't waste the energy, but you get a little bit of rhythm on your side here at the MBO. Take a look back at some of the highlights.
You want to be forced to do some work, and the block of Benesh mattered. All the on-2 stuff was good. They played with some of the pace of their offense to the outside. They worked with the option with both players. I think these 2 guys did some excellent work that will pay off for them later as they continue to develop their strategy and rhythm and roll for the rest of this tournament, hoping to get to a Sunday and a possible bronze plaque.
Yeah, they're looking like they could be the team to beat Andy Benesh, Miles Partain, the 3 seed. Let's see. Coach Vu in their box. He's going to be working with this duo throughout the rest of the competition. We'll have more coming your direction here from the Manhattan Beach Open. This is the AVP.